Hey, happy snow day. Let's talk about how street design can either help or hinder snow removal.
At last year's NACTO conference, the City of Minneapolis presented some snow data about Plymouth Ave. After snowstorms and after the snowplows came through, they went out to the street and measured the usable width of the sidewalk, the road, parking areas, and bike lanes. Here's one cross-section of Plymouth Ave. We have one lane either direction, parking on both sides, bike lanes on both sides immediately adjacent to parking, some small tree belts, and sidewalks. Each of these rows represents a snowfall event and the measurements after the snowplows came through. Notice in this cross-section, the only place to really put the snow from the road, from the bike lane, and from the sidewalk are in these narrow tree belts because everything else has to be used for either moving people or parking vehicles. And so as the winter goes on, we start losing a lot of width on the road as the snow kind of piles up against the curb. By the end of the season, you pretty much lose an entire parking lane. The bike lane narrows up too because the snow is piling over. This one snowfall event, it just didn't get plowed at all. And the sidewalk gets pretty narrow, almost down to 3 feet from 6 feet, all because these tree belts are overflowing with snow and there's nowhere else to put it. Here's a different cross-section of Plymouth Ave, and notice how there's a landscape buffer between each of the uses on the road. A tree belt between the sidewalk and bike lane, and a grass strip between the bike lane and travel lanes. Because of this, the travel lanes were able to remain 100% clear throughout the winter. All the snow from the road just went onto the grass strip. The bike lanes maintained usable widths, and the sidewalks, for the most part, were usable as well. This goes to show that providing landscape buffers on a street where possible has a lot of different benefits. They can be used to provide separation between people and moving vehicles, which increases safety. It allows space to plant trees to bring more shade to the street, and as we've seen, it's a great place to put snow to keep the traveled way clear for everyone.